Thank you, everyone. So our last session of the day will be on smart agriculture for agribusiness stakeholders. I would like.
Good afternoon, everybody. See, because this is a post-lunch session, maybe looking heavy, and also last session. Okay, coming to the contest. Since morning, we have been listening the industry 4.0. We have been talking many things about MSMEs, technology, all this. But this particular session is about agri stakeholders, smart agri business. How many of your agri business holders here? Anybody? Any agree? At least one. Good. Okay, let us talk the reality. Because Industry 4.1 related to the talking about the technology, okay, that includes your artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, all this, Internet of Things, all this we are talking about. But how far it is directly relevant to agriculture industry? How many of you are thinking yes or no? Because this is very, very important point here. Nowadays, no technology, no business development. Agree with me? So whoever is embracing the technology, they are only taking lead. But here also similar challenges are there, because when you talk about the agriculture, it is all labor intensive programs. 100% we are dependent on labor. And when you talk about the industry 4.0, talks about the technology, both are in opposite directions. Nowhere there is no match. But still, if you look at the activities of the agriculture, post-harvest and pre-harvest and post-harvest, if you look at this, in the pre-harvest thing, very, very few people are involved in using the technology. That may not be even 10% also, what I feel. And post-harvest, yes, some people are using this artificial intelligence and machine learning, all this data analysis, they are using it. But I would like to highlight some of the points here. In the context of pre-harvesting, people are using those who are the contract farming. Those who are big players. They are only using technology like right from, with the drones, they are sensing that land in terms of the fertility, humidity, what is that, soil wetness, moisture. Okay, so whether the soil is useful for the exactly farming the particular crop or not. So all these things they are doing it perfectly. They are using even the what crop should be suitable for this. And even at the time of adding the plants, that sowing the seeds to level 2, when it is sown, seeds are sown, then when it is growing, people are using for how is the growth, what kind of diseases are coming, what kind of remedies to be taken. Even that is also sensed by this kind of technology. Even it is in the growing level, how is the growth, how much yield is going to be given by this particular crop. Then, how much, what is the post-harvest, what is going to be the price, what is the forecast, based on the previous data also they are calculating the forecast of the product and marketing also. So to that extent, people are making use of this technology. If somebody wants to implement, they can very well. Even what is the water level they are having, what should be the low to optimum water level that should have in the farm. To that extent, people are using the technology. Why I'm just repeating all this is very, very important for a farmer level, that as a farmer, they may not be able to invest this much amount on the technology part. But as our panels people are discussing previously also, things are available on SAS basis. I think some of the panelists were discussing about things are available on the, even you can use and pay and use like. And post-harvesting, yes, about the forecast, about the sales, about the other profitability of the business is also getting calculated. So, what I want to tell you is, technology is playing a very big role in this. So, those who are embracing the technology, yes, definitely they can make the things well. But the point is now how this has to be taken deep into the farmer level is very important. This is where Andhra Chamber also considering how it can be taken to the clusters level, how it can be implemented for the benefit of the farmers, because ultimately our aim is to give the good profits to the farmers. Because ultimately the mediators are making money, not really the farmers. Farmers are in the same stage, but ultimately this is going in a multiple edition before we go to the consumer. So I request the panelists to focus on how it can be taken to the root level of the farmers. So that is, I wanted to set the context for these discussions. Now, with this, I will hand over the session to Professor Padmanabhan to take this.
Thank you, Ji. So, Koteshwar Rao Ji. Now, basically, with the agri space, just to introduce, our firm, MSME, we are the biggest players in India. Agri, we are even bigger. So, all the schemes of the government of India, we happen to manage. Similarly, FPOs also, we are working with 1,500 FPOs. More than 20,000 FPOs in 20 states are under our support and inputs through various agencies. Government of India, World Bank, ADB. Most of the World Bank, ADB projects in 4 or 5 states, we are managing the whole project for agri-business, including FPO promotion. So what we find is, and we had also introduced the 10,000 FPO scheme. Now what we find is, everywhere there is a gap with regard to agri-tech. Agri-tech nu solranga, but ultimately அது implement ஆகிறதுக்கு ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்கு. Like for example, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation ஒரு 300 crore consultancy project release பண்ணாங்க ஒரு 6 மாசம் முன்னாடி to develop an agri stack for farmers in India. Agri stack 300 crore consultancy bid. So consultancy 300 matlab implementation be in thousands of crores. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation 10,000 கோடி foundation கொடுப்பாங்க implementation in weaker states, Eastern India. So anyway, so we also bid for it. So what are the focus? Though now the government of India is also doing it, agri stack. Focus is crop advisory for the farmer. Just like MSME advisory madri, it could be shared services, shared accounts, shared logistics. Farmer crop advisory, meaning what dosage of which input, முதல்ல seed, அப்புறம் fertilizer, then pesticide, when to put when, what dosage, ஏதாவது கீடா வந்துச்சு, meaning பிமாரி இல்லை illness வந்துச்சுன்னா, அது what time, what dosage, which input and which brand to spray. So this also is facilitated in agri stack, so that virtually every farmer in his smartphone, smarter or lady or gentleman farmer, in his or her smartphone can get inputs. They only have to send a picture and they get input, crop advisory advice also. That is with regarding to management of the crops. Second, this is agri stack, which the government of India is trying, but to various reasons still not implemented well. I'll come to gap later. Mainly they need a good recipient, like an FPO to receive and disseminate. Second one is drones. So drones also, government of India, the subsidy that is offered 50 to 80% under different schemes. But in spite of that, Garuda, they were here today morning, but somehow there's some... He had some emergency, is it? Oh. Anyway, so Garuda is also partnering with us. We are also promoting them. Like we promote lots of pro bono technologies across India. We have worked with 200 partners in the agri space. All the big players, TAFE, escorts, etc. So similarly, drones also, though the government of India is promoting, drone would benefit. There's a farmer in Tamil Nadu who's got 10 acres of farms. What he used the drones for is again this only. It is for identifying the disease even in a small patch of land, so that before it is spread to the rest of the acreage, he can isolate the area and resolve the problem, so that dosage of inputs, etc. is also reduced. So it's a great benefit to farmers, preemptive. So this is another example which is very critical, but farmers are not yet adopted in a big way in India. Third major initiative with regard to market intelligence. Dr. Dalwai is supposed to join us today, but he just called up. He's traveling, he cannot get connectivity also. Dr. Dalwai is doubling farmer chair in incomes chairperson, reporting to PM, Honorable PM. And one of the major initiatives, market intelligence. Throughout the world, every country, including the United States Department of Agriculture. Their job is espionage. Espionage matlab, including my friends with the USDA in India, what they do is find out what is the price of the crop, what will be the production, demand supply gap, how much the price will increase or price will decrease. And they passed on to the US farmer. US farmer is subsidized or otherwise based on the information. But in India, we don't have that system at all. We don't know which farmer will produce what. அதிகமாக இருக்குன்னா ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ண போகிறாங்களா இல்லை கம்மியாக பண்ண போகிறாங்களா. ஸோ எந்த எந்த சீசனில் என்ன ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணி யாருக்கும் தெரியாது, ஃபார்மருக்கும் தெரியாது, கவர்மெண்ட்டுக்கும் தெரியாது. ஸோ தேர் இஸ் நோ பிளானிங் அட் ஆல், நோ மேனேஜ்மெண்ட். இட் இஸ் அப்சல்யூட்லி ஃப்ரீ ஃபார் ஆல். ஸோ ஃபார் ப்ரொடியூசிங், doing this management and giving advice to farmer, the market intelligence, World Bank has supported several initiatives. But it's all very basic, Excel projections, and the Madri level. No one has come to AI and that kind of algorithms and the high level of analysis that is done in evolving or predicting even demand supply and passing on information to farmers. Or even capturing farmers' production system pre-harvest so that you can at least predict the prices and glut shortfall areas. அதெல்லாம் இல்லை. So market intelligence, it's important. Crop advisory, it's important. Farm mechanization, it's important. Escorts, they called us today morning also. They said, Namma tractor, we have AI. So what do you have in your tractor AI? They are friends only, so CEO, our CEO friend. So he said, our tractors, we can estimate how much petrol is used, how much acre land the tractor is doing, so that driver திருடுறான்னா முன்னாடியே தெரியும். அது மட்டும் இல்லை, we will know that you don't need to manage the tractor and track the tractor. That is, and they are using AI, they say for this. It is digitized, photograph, everything. Tractor le attachment irukku. So that kind of thing. So it is there right from farm mechanization to intelligence to etc. Question now is how do we, like Rauji said, how do we disseminate it and ensure farmers adopt? Same problem in industry 4.0. How do we ensure that the MSMEs will adopt? That we will come to the solution at the end of the session. We would like volunteers from you and we will start adopting with under Madhumati ji's guidance in Tamil Nadu at least. That kind, and Uma Shankar ji is also here in Tamil Nadu at least as a model for the country. Same thing for farmers, we find FPO is the best route. So that's one suggestion. HDFC is connected? Yeah. So HDFC Bank also is an example where they are banking with us for all the FPO financing instruments. So aggressively across India, any FPO that is there without too much due diligence, they are also financing FPO. Starting off with 10 lakh without collateral to going up to 50 crore, 50 lakhs, 1 crore. So this also is another initiative. So various initiatives are on. Along with that, a critical gap is with regard to crop insurance. So Zaidi ji has demonstrated in Jharkhand, in India, for cereals, pulses, there is crop insurance. But for horticulture, it is not there. If you are in West Bengal, everything is insured. Government insures, pays a premium also. So if I am a farmer in West Bengal, I don't have to worry whether the failure is there or crop is there or no crop, that kind of thing. But if I am a farmer in the rest of India, horticulture ki insurance kadiyadu. So to evolve that insurance mechanism, we tried a sample, and if Zaidi ji could elaborate on that.
Sure.
Something that Tamil Nadu can also incorporate.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity to speak on this particular topic, which is smart agriculture for agribusiness stakeholder. I'll begin with a very, I'm an agriculture graduate, and there was a subject during my college days which was dryland agriculture. First session, Professor Praveen Rao, who later became the Vice Chancellor of Andhra Pradesh Agriculture University, he came in jeans and T-shirt, and that was very, it was a rare sight for a professor to dress like that in a very typical conservative university like that. And he said, I've just landed from Israel, and what the hell you guys are doing? I said, we are trying to learn dryland agriculture. He said, it's very primitive that what you have been taught here. And he had done a secondment in Israel for 5 years. And he said the kind of technology they are using is very, very advanced. A desert has been converted into a fertile agriculture patch. And that was the first introduction to us towards smart agriculture. And subsequently, as a professional also, I landed up being in agriculture, and I was handling weather index-based crop insurance. Speaking of the challenges of adoption of smart technologies and smart agriculture, and crop insurance is an integral part of it. Now, earlier, the insurance used to be traditionally whenever there is any calamity, there used to be field inspection, and then some assessor surveyor will assess the damage. Again, it used to be highly politically motivated. There is no science behind it. You know, you have certain systems and processes to it, but it is liable to be, you know, a lot, you know, lopsided and very skewed. It's not an exact science. Then came the concept of weather index-based crop insurance. So at every stage of crop cycle, there are certain parameters, weather parameters, which have to be met in order to have a certain yield. If those parameters are not met, automatically the claim is settled with the farmer without having any physical this thing. The biggest challenge of that particular system was lack of data, because we used to rely on Indian Meteorological Department data, which used to be at district level. And the weather phenomenon changes at every 1 kilometer, right? Now there would be hailstorm in certain place, and then at 100 meters away or a kilometer away, there won't be, this thing. But the district data will say that, their historical data will say that the hailstorm happened in this particular district. Now the issue was in terms of having local monitoring system. And that is where NCMSL and other service providers came in. So that is how the entire data availability, data generation, data enrichment happened over a period of time. Now, it has come to that, even germination guarantee or germination insurance is also there in place. Like if, based on the weather condition, the, advent of rainfall and the quality of seeds and everything, the insurance firms are even giving cover for germination failure. In case if the germination failure is more than 20%, the entire cost of sowing will be paid to the farmers. So that is how the technology has evolved. The service providers have evolved, because in order to have smart agriculture, you need to have a very robust system of service providers also. A lot of agri input companies now have started giving their own services in terms of cost sharing basis. One of my friend is working with one of the multinationals. They do custom hiring service. Like FPOs are given a particular machine to be used, like harvester or tractor or anything. And the usage is tracked through, as Padmanand sir said, through sensors, through this AI, right? So based on the sensor, it is, it is calculated how much kilometer the tractor has run and which area it has run. And based on that, the farmer is charged, or that particular group of people are charged. So what I'm saying, what the point I'm trying to make is, the technology initially had been very costly, and upscaling of any technology depends on the number of users. And the more the number of users are there, the cost of technology comes down. Even the cost of insurance, which was earlier very prohibitive. The entire insurance used to be reinsured to a larger reinsurer. Now Indian insurance firms are taking that hit on themselves, because they have more understanding, more data. And that is how they are transforming the entire ecosystem, agriculture landscape in India. And apart from that also, there is a lot of startups who are coming in this agri-tech space. AgHub is one of the startup incubation center in Andhra Pradesh Agriculture University. Another one of my other friend who did agriculture with me in graduation, he's the CEO out there. And we keep having this chat that the issue with AgTech is on lab, the technology looks very, very very fruitful, but its adoption and upscaling is very prohibitive. Because you need not only have to go there and sell your product, but also have to service it. And to get people to have that understanding, it's very difficult. The commercial viability is a challenge. And once the commercial viability is taken care of, I think smart agriculture is going to be the future. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Zediji. HDFC Bank is anyway not joining us, has not been able to connect, right? But I can highlight anyway, because we are working extensively with the financial system. So financial intermediation and digitization of finance for farmers is a critical intervention. So there are agencies like Samunnati, for example, which is an NBFC. Several such NBFCs. There is Avanti Finance, There is Friends of Women World Banking, Vijayalakshmi Das ji's institution, who are into microfinance and financing for FPOs also. Now what they have is they are also looking at developing FPOs into Sakis or business correspondents, BCs. So different words are used, BCs are one option. So reaching out to the micro enterprises like MSME को reach out करना है, I mean reach करना through associations. That is the standard entry platform. For farmers through FPOs is now becoming the fashion, because Government of India foundations, more than 20,000 companies itself, farmer producer companies in India as on today, other than cooperatives, etc. So FPOs can be the via media solite. There are interventions going on. So digital financial inclusion, there are the packages and softwares have been developed by HDFC Bank, developed by Samunati. Every bank has their packages. Two kinds of inclusion is looked. One is loans to the FPO to make them startups, agripreneur startups. So they are doing input operation, they are doing market operations. Many FPOs are doing 14 crore business in India, many of our own FPOs. They start out with 1 crore, then 14 crore. Input business, output business, etc. Next thing we find is also microfinance lending. So microcredit lending to their member farmers, 1 lakh loan, 50,000 loan, as complementary to KCC, Kisan Credit Card or Animal Husbandry Credit Card is something that is ongoing in a big way. So both of these FPOs are the route now, used by banks and by NBFCs. Individual financing to farmers, member farmers, and group financing to the FPO. This is the thing that is used. Here basically a lot of advanced IT tools are deployed, but to the extent of going in for more advanced tools is something that is pending, is what our impression has been. It is basically tools in terms of relaxation in appraisal norms, that kind of thing. But going to the extent of studying the credit history of a farmer, studying the banking history of a farmer, then evolving a credit score, on the level India level. But internationally it is being done by many service providers. Ki credit history for someone who has no formal banking. That is what is happening throughout the world, right from Africa, etc. India, we have to upgrade to that level. So, Chairman ji, your suggestions and inputs before we close the session. Please.
Even as Padmanabhan sir said, even for MSME, they don't have the credit history. Many people, they don't maintain accounts. So even that becomes a bit difficult for the bankers to evaluate their cases. Yes. So, before summing up, any other questions from the audience? Any questions related to the
There is no one from
session?
the agri sector. No one from the agri sector.
Some people are there. Some. See, especially in agri sector, automation is more happening, but technology has to penetrate into the sector. That is what the efforts of all the stakeholders are, like our Grant Thompson and banks. Through FPOs, they are penetrating into the agri sectors. Like as Professor Padmanabhan said, whenever any initiatives to be taken for industries, they go through MSMEs and associations. But now when initiation has to be taken for the farmers means, and FPO is the route. So whoever is wanted to get the help, they have to be in the form of FPOs. Even government is also encouraging the FPOs, and financial inclusions also you can get easily. That is what the conclusion given by Padmanabhan sir. And the same way, our other JD also given a very good inputs talking about Israel set model. So coming to Israel, yes, they are number one in automation and technology, comparing with us. Even whatever the technology we want to adopt, many people look at Israel to implement in India. So that way, technology has to be embraced by the industry, and also automation is happening anyway. Even the crop, for putting the crop as well as the cutting, everything is happening automation. So nowadays, even picking up some of the plants also automation has come nowadays. So those things we are able to do well. So we hope
So I have got a point to make.
Yeah, please.
As regards the smart agriculture for agri-business in stakeholders, in Tamil Nadu, the Tamil Nadu Agricultural University at Coimbatore is having an MBA program in agri-business management, and most of them are entrepreneurs. And they have a skill development center in Guindy, which organizes 2 days programs, 3 days programs, and also long duration programs for stakeholders in smart agriculture practices. Similarly, the only university for fisheries in the whole of India, the Tamil Nadu Dr. J. Jayalalitha Fisheries University, based at Nagapattinam, it also organizes several skill development programs for the fisheries sector. And our panelist was mentioning about the FPO, and 20 FPOs in FFPOs, fisheries organizations, farmer producer organizations have been sanctioned for Tamil Nadu. And the first one has already become operational in Rameswaram, which was yesterday started by the Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Mr. M.K. Stalin. It was started yesterday. So the many more FPOs are coming up, and there is a lot of focus on skill development, particularly in fisheries and agri-business activities. As far as the private sector is concerned, the Achi Institute for Entrepreneurship Development, based at Anna Nagar and Mugaper, is having in the MBA program as well as the PGDA program. In the morning, it is working in the factory and the farm. It is a work session in the morning from 8 to 1. Only in the afternoon, it is affiliated to the Bharatiya University. So the students who are pursuing those courses, they get the practical experience. It's not an internship for 3 months out of 2 years like that. It is out of 2 years. Every day in the morning, you have to work in the factory, both in the Achi factory at Ambattur and other places. And in the afternoon, you have to undergo the theory classes prescribed by the Bharatiya University at Coimbatore. So you get the MBA program as well as this one, and they get a stipend because they are working in the morning there. It is all in tie-up with the NSDC, National Skill Development Corporation. I just wanted to bring it to the notice of the elite audience here that not only the private sector as well as the public sector takes a lot of initiative in promoting agri-based industries in the state of Tamil Nadu. Thank you.
So in fact, World Bank project 800 crores நாம தான் ஹெல்ப் பண்ணிட்டு அக்ரி மார்க்கெட்டிங்க்கு தமிழ்நாடு கவர்மெண்ட் இப்போ இம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் பண்ணுறாங்க. அந்த 800 crore ப்ரோக்ராம்லேயே 200 crore FPOக்கு போகுது, 500 FPOக்கு, 200 FPOஸ்க்கு, and we are managing many of them. That is one. And most of this fisheries FPO program நாம தான் கொண்டு வந்திருக்கோம். Ministry of Fisheries நாம தான் மேனேஜ் பண்ணுறோம் டெல்லியில். But what we find is the same thing. With regard to smart agriculture and smart fishery, you say it as smart fishery, how much it is really been incorporated in the field, we are also doubtful. So basic intervention, we are doing it throughout the country, throughout the world, everyone is doing. But when you're looking at the level of interventions that are required now at the next stage, either at Industry 4.4, 4.0 or Smart Agri, I doubt if much is implemented at all. Because we work in the field. We are the biggest team in the country, 1,200 people doing only this. And we know what is happening in the field. How much is really incorporated, Zaidiji will also say, will not speak in public fora. So, so actual incorporation of these practices is what is required. So Escort is calling up and saying, we have invested in the tractor for doing this. Now we want people to get adopted. So whether people give value for it or not is something we have to see to it, and then ensure that people incorporate. We have market intelligence. We have DigiStacks. How many use the smartphone farmer to predict his either to assess soil moisture content or health, or disease-free, reduce this dosage on disease inputs, disease-related pesticides. Practical applicability we have found is very, very limited as of now. So our common agenda, at least let us start off with Tamil Nadu, we are doing throughout the country. In Tamil Nadu with Transitco is, let us demonstrate it. Right? So thank you.
See, being the agri stakeholder, I am exporter of fruits, vegetables. I keep visiting the fields. We export onion, we export green chili, we export lemon, we export banana, pomegranate. I visiting all the fields personally, even coconut. So nowhere we see the adoption of the technology. That is why I am worried about. I am worried, I am concerned. My concern is also just why can't we take it this to ground level? Okay, to some extent we are able to see only automation, something automation some places. but not on the other places. So now, coming as a conclusion, can we conclude any other questions? If no other questions, I will conclude. The thing is, since morning we have been talking about all these industry 4.0, and as our skill development chairman, Mr. Anandji has told you very rightly, whatever you are learning, what are you going to do from tomorrow? I want to listen the feedback from someone. Anybody who is taking away the things from today's session. What is the takeaways? Can anybody elaborate? What are you going to implement from today's? Because even if you keep on attending daily also, if you are listening and going back and going to normal, this stage will not be useful for you. So, these kind of programs, all the stakeholders of this who are organizing, they are taking all the pains to impart this knowledge to the stakeholders of the total ecosystem. That is where it would be grateful if you can take this positively and try to implement. Yes, that will be the great result. Definitely there will be great result.
In fact, what I suggest is, as Ravji mentioned is, we had decided internally, how many of you are willing to work on a pilot basis on implementing this?
Yes.
We look at Industry 4.0. You have interacted with 3 service providers. Nama GT order 3 teams were there. There is Dr. Dash, also experts from various other service providers. How many of you are willing to incorporate it on pilot basis? Will you raise your hands? We'll have a teams meeting starting tomorrow or day after. We are looking at cluster based, like Madam said, Madhumati ji said. We are doing it throughout Tamil Nadu now. It's not cluster, it's actually consortium based interventions. So we are already initiating lean manufacturing, Six Sigma, initiated raw material banks, etc. throughout Tamil Nadu through Transitco. Uma Shankar ji is coordinating that. Various soft interventions for developing a competitive industry. We will bring this also. So we will now offer these services with regarding to digitization, machine learning and AI, advanced AI in various processes. Like an entrepreneur said, it depends on you have to identify which process you have to work in, which area you need to work in. You don't have to work in all areas for each sector or value chain. So let us isolate that, but we would like to have volunteers. How many of you are willing to work together? They may be Andhra Chamber members or others. And we will look at a pooled intervention on pilot basis. Transitco will be monitoring it. Uma Shankar ji is there. And the service providers will be presenting the initiative to you. You can decide who to work with and take the job ahead. How many of you are willing to raise your hands? How many of you are MSMEs?
Yes, 2,
MSMEs, konja.
3, 4, 5. Please somebody, can you take the names of them? Somebody can note the names.
Can you just
From
give
chambers.
a brief profile of which sector you are in and your turnover? Konja solreengalaa, please.
Please take the names of the people who have raised their hands.
Sector and turnover. Yeah.
Hi, this is Ariel Arson from Kodingur, Chennai. Actually, we are an electrical panel board manufacturer, and I just took up my dad's business, and we have been doing that almost more than 30 years, and I look to step it up and adopt the Industry 4 revolution especially. And I do have basic knowledge on ML and things, so I'd really like to upskill further and take it up next level.
So what is your present turnover?
We are doing around 1.5C to 2C.
Somebody can please take down notes. Sridhar ji, write down the names and phone numbers. Sector also. Sridhar ji is here or?
My name is Venkat. We are from an organization called Build HR. So we are an HR consultant and an HR technology company. I'm representing my MD here. So we are basically into the technology front. So, and we also listen to Madhumati madam on how to adapt to the upskilling and stuff. So those are all our key implementation points, and we also have a lot of things to do. Ankush were talking about ML and AI. and we are stepping into that on the HR front, and also into multiple industries where we are trying to implement ERP for them. So in that way,
Okay, you offer services in terms of MLA.
Correct.
Very good. So you should be the service provider category.
You have to come
Absolutely.
this side.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Fine.
Yeah.
So you will be in the service provider category, not in the MSME category.
Right.
Please.
Thank you.
Certainly involved. Please, anybody else? There were 3 people there. The last one.
Good evening to everybody. I am Manivandan, representing a food industry called Osborne Essential Oils. We are doing 10 crores per annum.
Thank you. Somebody has noted down phone numbers and all that?
Hello everyone, good evening. My name is Shimi Jayesh. I am representing Coursenan Systems, Hyderabad. So we are basically a SaaS provider. So we are into artificial intelligence with IoT, providing, earlier we were doing RFID, biometric, smart cards. And now we recently dipped our toes into real-time container tracking with ports, terminals, shipping yards, etc. And also into digital mining. So we are slowly trying to expand our product offering, not only in India, globally as well. So we recently registered in the US as well. Not a physical company, but just registration. They're looking for partners to globally expand our business.
You had mentioned your interest in connecting with FPOs. Can you elaborate on that?
So, in the sense like we are not getting into the right, right customers or right clients whom we are looking for. So we wanted to get into that channel. We don't know how Grant Thornton can help us, since you mentioned about the intervention with the MSMEs, and our turnover is currently 8 crores. So we just started 11 years back. So, yeah.
So you will also be in the service provider category, not in the MSME category.
Maybe.
Fine, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I will also volunteer for myself under this. Because I am also one of the stakeholders to
As
carry
service
forward.
provider or MSME?
Not service provider, MSME under, yeah.
So Rauji has also volunteered, so that's fine. What I suggest is we'll write down a offering, what is done for agripreneur entrepreneurs, meaning agri-business entrepreneur, one for general MSMEs, 2 pages. And you can circulate to all your members, so because not everyone is here. I'm sure you have thousands of members, not even 1%, 0.0%, whatever, are here. So you can circulate it in 3 or 4 days' time. You can email it to all or WhatsApp, whatever, fastest method. And then we can identify the list, and then we can have virtual presentation by all the service providers here who are here, and then see that who is interested in what service and take it to the next level. Right? We'll focus on Tamil Nadu because Madhumati ji is here. So Tamil Nadu also. But Jaydeep ji is more keen on Andhra.
I will come under Telangana.
No, Telangana, Andhra, Jaydeep ji would prefer. Absolutely.
Yeah, we are members.
But Madhumati ji and Uma Shankar ji can just lift your hands. Uma Shankar ji has led the cluster revolution in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu 200 clusters, 50 clusters, 10 kodi, 20 kodi CFCs. Uma Shankar ji has coordinated from the state government point of view. Nice. So for last 20 years. So he is still continuing. Back after retirement, invited again to do these interventions for MSME by Madhumati ji. So he is there. Let us take these interventions also forward. So you can connect with Uma Shankar ji, you can meet madam also. We'll draft a letter tomorrow itself, send it all, right? Both the things, one is for agri MSMEs, others for general MSMEs, right? Including FPOs and things. So thank you.
So thank you very much. So Professor Padmanabhan ji or Mr. Jaydeep.